Okay, I thought I would give a really short tutorial on how to use this Marvin Sketch because we're going to be using it quite often throughout Top Hat. And probably the first time you'll see this is when we're asked to draw Lewis structures. Part of it is hopefully intuitive, but part of it might be a bit confusing, particularly with regard to adding electrons, adding bonds, and perhaps given elements. So on the right-hand side here, you can see all the various elements you want to use. If you want to put a carbon on, you just click on that, and you've got your carbon. You want to add a bond to carbon, you would use this little line on the side, and you could choose the different bond types. So let's put some bonds up there. Now, one of the interesting things here is that you'll notice that the carbon atom basically disappears as soon as you add some bonds to it. We're going to get to that in tomorrow's lecture. All right, so here we go. Now, if you want to add things to, say this, we could add oxygen. And the nice thing is that with this drawing program, it automatically adds a hydrogen if it needs a hydrogen. So if we put a sulfur somewhere, let's add it here, it'll add that hydrogen to it. If you want to add lone pairs, we could, there's this little radical here, single radical here. Here's the lone pairs, just click on that and then go on the atom, oxygen, oxygen, you've got your two sets of lone pairs, sulfur, add its two sets, and that's how that works. If you wanted to remove this hydrogen here to make a negative charge, then you need to use the charge function. That's movement of electrons. There we go. Positive and negative. So if you push the negative on this oxygen, you'll see that it removed that hydrogen. And technically this would need 3 lone pairs, so I'm just going to add the third set right there. With a lot of the drawing programs, they don't include the addition of lone pairs just because they assume that you put them there mentally anyway. So, and if you want to draw a double bond, you can just click on here, double bond. Let's add it to here. There you've got your double bond. Just put a nitrogen somewhere. Nitrogen. Now remember, nitrogen typically has 3 bonds, so it automatically added that H. And if you want to add, say, 2 more bonds to this nitrogen, 1, 2, then we would need to add a positive charge to this. There we go. And if you ever need to erase anything, the eraser is right here, and you can just erase everything all at once. Now, I think one of the questions we had boron as one of our atoms. So you just click on this little periodic table up here, and you can choose other elements that are around, like boron or selenium or aluminum. Let's try aluminum for a second here. There's aluminum. Let's put some bonds off it. And there we go. So that's basically how the drawing program works. Later on in class, we're gonna have lots of, we're gonna talk about ring systems. There's little templates for them down at the bottom. And squiggly lines, zigzags, we're gonna do those a bit later on in class. So it's just basically you click on it and you just click on the screen and there you go. Now, if I didn't answer a specific question, just ask and I'll do that. Okay.